Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me for your daily tarot reading. Please pick the stone that calls you today. And remember, we'll have a golden nugget card at the end in case you want further clarification for your reading. And we'll begin. For those of you who chose the blue lapis lazuli, we have the Queen of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, well, this is not bad at all. I think this reading wants to be a little bit of good news today, because I think that being a logical type, being an intellectually mature type, you can sometimes think yourself into a corner. And you're not the only one. So this is the Eight of Swords. It's sort of like you maybe feel a little trapped. You maybe feel a little bit like you can't get out of this. You don't see a way out of some situation in your life that has you feeling kind of constrained and trapped. Now, the Eight of Swords is always about there is a way forward. Like, this person is not in jail. This person can wiggle right through those swords and just walk on out of there. She doesn't know that because she has a blindfold on. So it's sort of like seeing the way forward, seeing the way out, in spite of what you may believe. Sometimes the Eight of Swords are plans, that have to be taken care of one at a time before you can free yourself from a certain situation. But a lot of the time, at least some of those swords are thoughts that are not true. Maybe they're thoughts about yourself. Maybe there are thoughts about your future. Maybe they are I have to's, or I should, or I must. But they can make you feel kind of trapped. Now, the Queen of Swords, she's going to cut through that stuff. But yet you have this maturity in your personality where you can do what's logical, and doing what's logical is really pays off for you a lot of times. But then again, sometimes if you've got a pretty good intellect, you take on a lot. People who have the ability do. So I think there is a way out of this. In fact, I know there is. But you've got to cut through some of those lies. So this little bit of good news today, I think, is you can have better than this. I think it is Spirit wants to cooperate with you. Your higher self wants to cooperate with you to move forward into something better. That's what I'm getting. And maybe a great way of doing that is to pay some attention to your emotional needs, what delights you. That Page of Cups, he just has fun. He's just delightful. He goes with what he feels. Sometimes, if you're quite mature and you always go with what makes sense to you to go with, sometimes you maybe shut this guy down, shut this inner delightful kind of, I want to consider my emotions important. I want to consider what brings me delight important. And so sometimes you maybe shut him down too much, that inner little child. So it can be about paying attention to that today and thinking that, yes, no matter, even if you have some situation where you feel like kind of trapped in, you know what? You can have some delight in each day. You can have delight. And maybe Spirit is using this reading to help you to pay attention to those needs in that part of yourself too. Okay. All right. Well, that's a good reading. For those of you who chose this light green stone, we have the Star. We have the Death card. We have the Six of Cups. Okay. So with these cards, boy, you've got some powerful major arcana. You should be hopeful. If there is an end to something, you feel it, you know it deep down. The Death card is just an acceptance, a knowing, a settled kind of, okay, something is done. And I always feel like, personally, I feel some relief when I see the Death card. It's sort of like, you're not fighting against accepting the fact that something is done. You've got acceptance now, and you can then it can be this transformative energy where something sometimes has to end for another thing to begin. And the star is the new thing beginning. That is hope. That's huge. Major arcana energy. It is very clearly Spirit saying you should be hopeful. Look to the future with hope. Now, the Six of Cups, you know what I feel like? Since that comes with the Death card, I feel like and the Six of Cups is looking back. It's nostalgia a lot of times. So I feel like that is maybe it's important to let go of thinking things have to be the way they've been. Maybe you're coming into a time in your life when, you really kind of cut ties with a lot of your habits and routines of the past. You're really coming into something entirely different that'll bring hope. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. And so really, as long as we are alive on this earth, we are always changing and growing. And even if we look back and we see a life with a lot of consistency, and this is what we did, and this is what we've always done, and this is what we've always felt was important to do, it's okay to put all of that on the table and see if that's got to be the way it continues. Because sometimes Spirit really wants us to open our mind to a new era, a new thing. And maybe there'll be something that we always assumed was true, or always assumed was good for us to do, or always assumed we had to do. Maybe there is something that we need to take a fresh look at. So we should definitely be hopeful, though. Spirit is saying good things lie ahead. Okay, for those of you who chose the red stone, the red jasper, nice earthy stone, we have the High Priestess, we have the Seven of Coins, we have the Three of Cups. So the High Priestess is your major arcana, and a nice one it is, because it really speaks to your intuition, your knowing, the depth of that, which is quite well developed. It's like you have all the answers inside of you. And if there's any situation about the sources of your security there, the Seven of Coins, and remember, security can be money, security can be work, security can be health, security can be a lot of things. But if there's any concern about that, worry about that, trouble, something that preoccupies your thinking about that, the High Priestess tells you that you don't need to worry. If your gut is saying it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. The High Priestess, your intuition may lead you to spend more time celebrating, to spend more time doing things that are fun. Remember, in the Rider-Waite, this is 3 women toasting each other, kind of holding up their cups, dancing. They are definitely having fun. So maybe the High Priestess too is telling you today, okay, that's enough of worrying about that stuff. It is time to have some fun. Really could be. So that's a good one. All right, but in any case, that you do have the answers within you. You don't need to know the whole answer. You just need to know, where you're going today. All right. Now, if anybody wants the Golden Nugget card to get a little more information, what have we? We have the world. Wow. Okay, so the world is the world. You have the world in your hands. You have the world at your fingertips. You have the world. This is success. This is, wow, completion. This is please look at all of the goals you have completed and completed successfully. Please consider that. It's basically saying you're already a success in your life, okay? You don't need to prove anything. But not that there can't be more successes. Sure there can. But that's building upon the success you've already had. That world card is also encouraging you to open up your mind to what the world may have in store for you. Good things. Yeah, so I like that, the world card. Also, the world is there to support us. Sometimes other human beings operating out of their egos, the egos they've created during this lifetime, can worry so much about defending themselves. They can feel so unsafe that they're just not so wonderful to be around. Sometimes it can feel like the world is not supporting us. However, look at this. This is the spiritual world, the spiritual web around us. Because all around is spiritual force and love and strength and energy that is supporting us. So that's important to know about that. All right. Well, I thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.